Hello everyone, wishing you all good health, peace, and the kind of happiness that lasts through every season of life. For Ly Tieu Ca, happiness had never come easily. Yet now, as she watched her little family grow with love and laughter, she finally felt she had found her greatest treasure. Still, in the quiet of her heart, questions lingered. What else lies ahead for them? Will the days to come be gentle with peace, or will storms rise once more to test their strength? The future remains uncertain, but one truth is clear no matter what awaits. Ly Tieu Ca's small family will face it together, bound by love that refuses to break. The morning sun spilled softly through the bamboo leaves, casting golden threads across the small yard. Inside the humble home, the sound of little footsteps echoed as Han prepared for school. Go to school, my dear. It's cooler there than staying at home with mother. Take care, my love, Ly Tieu Ca whispered, pressing a kiss to her daughter's cheek. Han's laughter trailed behind as she skipped away, leaving her mother with the warm but heavy silence of the day ahead. Behind her, the baby stirred. Little Long had woken, his cries breaking through the stillness. Tieu Ca hurried to boil water, to mix his milk. Shall we light the fire together, my love? She spoke softly, as if Han was still with her, though the little girl had already left. Life in this small family was woven with countless such moments: laughter, worry, exhaustion, and tenderness. The kettle hissed, the milk was stirred, and Tieu Ca's hands moved with the practiced rhythm of a mother who never rested. Yet, her heart trembled when she saw the milk tin nearly empty. Soon I will need to work harder, harvest more, to buy milk for Long. My babies must never go hungry, she thought. Meanwhile, far away at the timber workshop, Hung was immersed in work. He was a man of quiet strength, carrying the weight of both business and hidden care in his heart. As he spoke with his workers about prices, profits, and the challenges of the market, his mind wandered back to the small, fragile family waiting in the hills. He had already arranged for planks of wood to be delivered to Tieu Ca's half-finished shelter. For him, business could wait, but her well-being could not. Later that day, Hung appeared at her door. His presence brought a sense of steadiness, like a tree rooted deep in the storm. He helped her wash dishes, carried heavy buckets of water, and even installed the solar panel that would one day light up her home when darkness fell. Tieu Ca watched him, her heart both grateful and uncertain. Could she lean on this man, or was he only a fleeting comfort in her difficult journey? The evening settled in gently. They visited Han and Long at their grandmother's house, where the air was filled with the sweet scent of guava and the soft laughter of children. The grandmother, though aged and frail, held the babies with love, her wrinkled hands steady with experience and warmth. In that moment, surrounded by love, Ly Tieu Ca felt a wave of peace wash over her. She realized that happiness was not found in riches or comfort, but in the simple acts of care: a bowl of noodles shared, a baby's smile, a kind hand lifting a burden. Yet, behind that peace lingered a question that weighed on her soul: what awaits us next? Would the days ahead be filled with calm skies, where her small family could grow in warmth and stability? Or would storms return, of hardship, of loneliness, of the past that still cast shadows on her fragile heart? For now, she held her children close and allowed herself this fleeting happiness. The future remained uncertain, but as long as love was alive in their small home, hope would never fade. The night sky stretched above the hills, scattered with stars that blinked like tiny lanterns. Inside the grandmother's house, the soft sound of baby Long's breathing mixed with the gentle rustling of the bamboo trees outside. Han leaned against her mother's side, her eyes heavy with sleep, while Ly Tieu Ca stroked her hair tenderly. Hung sat nearby, watching the scene unfold. The warm glow of the oil lamp lit up their faces, and for a brief moment, he felt as if this was already his home, his family. But he knew life was rarely that simple. Han, do you love your little brother? Hung asked, his voice gentle. Han lifted her sleepy eyes and smiled. Yes, Han loves Long. Han also loves Mom. She paused, hesitating for a heartbeat before whispering shyly, and loves Uncle Hung too. The words fell into the quiet room like a spark of light. Tieu Ca froze, her cheeks flushing, while Hung's heart beat faster. He smiled softly, hiding the storm of emotions inside. How can such a small child speak words that reach so deeply into a grown man's heart? Later, when the children were asleep, Tieu Ca and Hung stepped outside. The cool night air carried the scent of wet earth after the rain. Fireflies flickered in the grass, tiny messengers of the night. "You shouldn't have to help me this much," Tieu Ca said quietly, her voice filled with both gratitude and unease. "I know you have your company, your responsibilities. I can't ask for more." Hung looked at her, his expression steady. "Tieu Ca, you don't have to ask. I want to. Your burdens don't have to be yours alone." Her eyes shimmered in the moonlight, torn between wanting to believe and fearing disappointment. She had walked too many lonely roads, carried too many sleepless nights with only her children to comfort her. Could she allow herself to lean on him? As if sensing her doubts, Hung added, "I don't know what the future holds, peace or storm, but if there are storms ahead, I want to face them with you, not watch from afar." The words lingered in the night, and for the first time in a long while, Ly Tieu Ca felt the fragile stirrings of hope. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she turned her gaze to the sleeping house where her children lay safe. Happiness was here, within reach, but would fate allow her to keep it? The night grew deeper, carrying both promise and uncertainty, and though silence hung between them, their hearts beat with the same unspoken question: what kind of tomorrow awaits us? The next morning arrived with the chirping of birds and the fragrance of damp soil after the rain. Sunlight broke through the clouds, painting the valley in shades of gold. Ly Tieu Ca rose early, her hands moving quietly so as not to wake Han and Long. She boiled water, washed rice, and prepared a simple meal. These little routines were her way of holding life together. Hung appeared at the doorway, his shirt still smelling faintly of sawdust and the long night's work. He carried a basket of fresh vegetables and fruit from the market. "You were up so early?" Tieu Ca asked in surprise. He gave a modest smile. "I thought the children might like these, and I wanted you to have one less worry today." Her heart tightened. It wasn't just the food he brought, it was the way he made her feel seen, as if her endless struggles were no longer invisible. When Han awoke and saw the basket, her eyes sparkled. "Mom, Uncle Hung brought apples. Can I have one now?" "Of course," Hung said, handing her the reddest one. "But save some for your brother too." Han bit into the fruit, juice running down her chin. She laughed, carefree, and then looked at Hung with the innocence only a child could carry. "Uncle Hung, can I call you Dad?" The words stunned the room. Tieu Ca nearly dropped the pot in her hands, her breath caught between fear and tenderness. Hung looked at Han, his eyes glistening. For a moment, he forgot about the company, the timber deals, the chaos waiting for him outside this home. All he could hear was that small voice, pure and unguarded. He bent down and touched Han's hair gently. "If you want to, then yes, you can call me Dad." Tieu Ca's heart trembled. She forced a smile to hide the storm of emotions surging within her. This moment, this fragile happiness, was more precious than anything. But deep inside, a shadow whispered, "Life never stays this calm for long," and she was right. Later that day, while Hung prepared to return to the workshop, a phone call arrived. His assistant's voice was tense. "Sir, there's been trouble with the timber supply. John's people, they've blocked another shipment. We may not have enough stock to keep production running." Hung's jaw tightened. He glanced at Tuaku, who was rocking baby Long gently to sleep. A choice weighed on him: stay here, in this fragile haven of peace, or dive back into the storm of business that threatened everything he had built. Life is never just about comfort or struggle. It is always a mixture of both. From the story of Ly Tieu Ca, we learn that happiness is often hidden in the simplest of moments: a bowl of noodles shared with a child, a gentle smile from a loved one, or the tiny hands of a baby reaching out for warmth. These details, though ordinary, carry the weight of life itself. Ly Tieu Ca's journey reminds us that even when life feels fragile and uncertain, love gives us the strength to endure. As a single mother, she faced sleepless nights, financial worries, and the endless responsibilities of raising 2 children. Yet she never stopped caring, never stopped giving. Her love became the anchor that kept her small family together. We also learn from Hung's silent devotion, his willingness to help, to shoulder burdens without expecting anything in return, shows that kindness is not measured by grand gestures but by consistent, quiet acts of care. True love often speaks not through words, but through presence, through being there when it matters most. The lesson is clear: storms in life will always come. There will be days of hardship, loss, and doubt. But peace is possible if we hold on to love, patience, and trust. Family, whether by blood or by choice, is the safe harbor we can return to when the world outside feels overwhelming. In the end, the future remains uncertain. Peace or storm, joy or trial. Yet, as long as hearts remain connected and people choose to stand together, no storm is too great. From Ly Tieu Ca's story, we learn that the greatest happiness is not in wealth or success, but in the courage to love and the strength to protect those who matter most.